Welcome. Today, we are diving into a really interesting concept that's trying to completely flip the script on artificial intelligence. It's called the action model, and it's built around this, well, pretty radical idea about who should own our automated future.
So let's just start with a number. 1 billion. According to the material we're looking at today, that's how many computer-based jobs are at risk of being automated by 2030. That is a staggering figure, and it really sets the stage for a massive, massive shift in how work gets done.
And this is why that number is so big. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of the technological leap we're talking about. This isn't just about an AI answering your questions or drafting an email. No. We're talking about an AI that can literally click, type, and navigate through any software, maybe even better and faster than any of us can.
Which brings us to what our source is calling the coming AI storm. It's a way of looking at this whole tech shift not just as some cool new innovation, but as a truly disruptive force, one with some pretty profound consequences for all of us. So, what's really driving this storm? Well, you guessed it, economics. The material we're looking at says AI can do these computer tasks for about 95% less than it costs to have a human employee do them. I mean, with that kind of efficiency gain on the table, the incentive for businesses to automate is it's huge.
And this leads to a really crucial question. Who is building this stuff? Who is in control? According to the source, the answer points to a monopoly already being formed by just a handful of very familiar players.
And yup, here they are. As you can see, the future of this action-based AI is currently in the hands of the giants: OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Anthropic. They're the ones building and controlling the infrastructure that's going to power this whole new wave of automation.
Now this right here, this is how the source frames the current development model. It's called extractive. And the idea is pretty simple, right? We, the public, provide all the data, our clicks, our posts, our work. They use that data to build their AI. They then sell that AI and get all the profits, while the very people whose data helped build it, well, they risk being replaced by it.
And this chart just brilliantly lays out the proposed alternative. Over on the left, you've got that traditional model we were just talking about. But on the right, you see the action model's approach. So instead of corporate ownership, you have distributed ownership. Instead of users being the product, they actually become owners. And crucially, profits go back to the people who contribute, not just to a handful of shareholders.
So what's the solution being put forward here? Well, the action model is positioning itself as this kind of grassroots, community-driven alternative to the top-down approach we're seeing from big tech.
The core technology behind all this is what they call a large action model, or a LAM for short. And the key distinction here is right in the name: action. See, this AI isn't designed to just talk or write, it's designed to do things. It actually executes tasks on a computer, interacting with software just like you or I would.
This quote, I think, really captures the entire philosophy here. The goal is to create a powerful AI, sure, but one where the development, the training data, and the ownership are all in the hands of the community of people who actually use it and contribute to it.
Okay, so that's the big idea. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does a community-owned AI that can actually do things, how does it actually work?
First, to really get what a LAM is, we have to talk about what it's evolving from. We all know large language models, LLMs, like ChatGPT. And as the source describes them, they're kind of like brilliant advisors, but they're trapped. They can tell you exactly how to do something, but they can't actually do it for you because all they can output is text. This slide makes the difference just crystal clear. An LLM might give you a step-by-step guide on how to book a flight. A LAM, on the other hand, just takes control of the mouse and keyboard and actually books the flight for you. See the difference? The output isn't a bunch of text, it's a finished task. That is the fundamental leap from simply advising to actually acting.
So how does it act? It uses something called the action loop. It's a pretty simple 4-step cycle, really. First, the AI views the screen to figure out what's going on. Second, it decides what the best next move is. Third, it takes that action, a click or a key press. And fourth, it checks the result and then loops right back to the beginning, just repeating this cycle over and over until the job is done.
This whole ecosystem is built on what the source calls 3 pillars. First, there's a browser extension that helps you contribute training data. Second, there's a desktop app called Actionist, which is basically the AI agent that does all the work. And third, you have the SLAM token, which is the digital asset that represents your ownership and your economic stake in the whole network.
And this token, it isn't just for trading or something. It's the actual lifeblood of the system. It's used as fuel to run the AI actions, it's given out as a reward to people who provide training data, and it gives you governance rights, so you get a real say in the platform's future. It's the mechanism that makes this whole community ownership thing a reality.
Which brings us to our final section. What does all this mean for you, the individual user? And what's the long-term vision here? It's really all about giving everyone a direct stake in the future of automation.
The potential uses are just vast. For you personally, imagine it automating your job applications or managing your social media. For a business, picture it handling customer support tickets or tedious data entry. The core claim is simple. If you can do it on a computer, the action model can eventually be trained to automate it.
And the roadmap here is incredibly ambitious. Right now, it's all about building the community and training the AI. The goal for the near future is a full platform launch. But the end goal? That's something much, much bigger. They want to create what they call the unstoppable community-owned automation layer of the internet.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to this mission. The core idea presented in all this material is to democratize AI, to make sure its benefits are spread out among the many people who help create it, instead of being concentrated in the hands of just a few giant corporations.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Is this model truly the future of automation, a way to realign the rewards of AI with the actual workforce, or is it maybe the next step for the creator economy, where people can monetize their skills by building automations? And of course, a model this open brings up new questions, right? How does a decentralized community make sure everything is high quality? And how do you guard against misuse? Definitely something to think about.